Hello, parents, guardians, and other caring adults. This is Amy Arvidsson. I'm your child's language arts teacher this year in 6th grade. Our entry task was to write a sticky note to your child to go in their notebook. We're sorry we missed you. My contact information is here on the slide. Please feel free to contact me at any time to talk about your child's progress. I've been teaching for 12 years. This is my second year at Robert Eagle staff. Last year I taught 8th grade. I'm very happy to be in 6th grade with your adorable children. Prior to that, I taught for 10 years at Washington Middle School, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and language arts as well as social studies. We previewed the year in 1 minute or less. We're doing 5 units of study. The first one, which we're in right now, is an independent reading unit. Students are reading their own books. In a week and a half, we're going to start narrative writing. Students will be writing a story, any kind, but an original story. Unit 2, which will begin in November, is an informational text and informational writing unit. It will be structured as a Model UN project. We will be looking at sustainable development. Students will be working in groups and reading and writing to prepare for the Model UN Summit. In Unit 3, after winter break, we will be in small book groups. Students will have 10 to 12 books to choose from, and they'll be reading and discussing the books together in small groups. Unit 4 is an argument writing unit. Again, students will have a number of texts that they'll be reading, and they'll be composing an argument writing paper. Our final unit will be something to do with literary analysis or writing craft. Could be poetry, could be short stories, could be a literary essay. We're working on what the exact parameters will be. In our classroom, we're using 2 modes of learning: project-based learning, which is something like the Model UN Summit, where students are having some kind of complex question or problem, leading to some kind of product in response to an authentic real-world question. And blended learning, where the students are using a combination of computers and small groups in the classroom and whole group instruction by letting kids pick what mode of learning they're doing. They get more choice. Students, for example, could watch an instructional video, or they could have the lesson in a small group with me. Sometimes that's by their choice. Sometimes they need both. They need to watch the video and then have follow-up in small group. Sometimes the computers can allow for differentiation. If you finished everything, here's something to do next. And so it allows students some choice in path and place and task, and puts them in the driver's seat. I don't want to talk about this, but in other classrooms today, you were talked about our grading system, and I just wanted you to know we'll be using it also. My job tonight is to tell you about Schoology. This is our learning management software. It's a way that we can communicate, we teachers can communicate with students and parents about what's going on in our classrooms. If you haven't signed up, you can do so at the Seattle Schools website. If you have a source password, there's a, you just log on through the website, you go to the student and family portal, you go to Schoology, sign up as a parent, and then you log in. Directions for getting a password and everything are also at this www.seattleschools.org. Every teacher's class page may look different. My class page looks basically like this. This is the teacher version of it. And I've organized things by folders, and I have a calendar of events. I try to put every day what we did in class, and so there's handouts or videos or learning materials that were given out in class that day. They're available here on the calendar, and later on they're in the folders also. I try to put dates that are coming up, important dates, and so this is a way to figure out basically what's going on in each of your students' classes. Last thing is we're having a field trip on October 30th to the Seattle Children's Theater. The permission slips will be going home this coming Monday and are due back a week later. If you'd like to chaperone this trip or any future trips, remember you need to complete the watch paperwork, and the website's listed here to get that process started. We'd love to see you. How can you support your students at home? 1, create a routine at home that includes 30 minutes of reading every day. The students' only homework, almost all the time, in language arts is just reading their independent reading book. Very rarely do they have to finish up something from class or some other task. Maybe when we're doing a writing project, they may need to do a little finishing up of that. Ask your student about what they're reading. Having a conversation, ask them about the character, ask them about the problems the character is facing. And then finally, check the Schoology calendar and resources to see what you're learning. If your student's telling you, that's great, talk to them. If you feel like you're not getting the full story, it should all be there in Schoology. And of course, you can always contact me. I'd love to talk to you about your student's progress individually. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions.